Chanya one of Nigeria Info. Itodo is off today, so I'll be flying solo. However, we've got Dr. Majid Dahiru with us in the studio, researcher, columnist, and the tech team lead of Luke's Terra Leadership Foundation. Dr. Majid, you are welcome.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Delighted to have you join us.
Thank you very much.
You look fantastic, by the way. It is. Yes, I'm telling you. Did you just come in from the abroad?
Oh my God.
There's so much going on. Nigerians have to wrap their heads around. As a matter of when the news started making the round yesterday, the liter of fuel has gone up to 617. A lot of people are like, nah, play. It's not true. But as at yesterday, you know, who even called who said, oh, people stranded already because within that the transport fare changed. Like imagine having your plan, leaving your house, suddenly you're stuck because you did not anticipate that there was going to be a change somehow today. It's interesting, but I guess people like you, sorry, because you've been one of those, very few voices screaming against the removal of subsidies, interrogated other aspect, even more voice in support of the removal of subsidy. But it doesn't feel like we really anticipated the price would continue to rise, because who knows? You can't tell. You might wake up next month and NNPC will first to display 919.50 kobo. Naira approximately for a lithium. Or are we going to get there?
I'm becoming fatigued with this conversation because
I can understand.
It's that an entire country itself to be scammed, to be deceived, and to be misled into consenting to committing economic suicide. Echoing and hyping subsidy removal and economic virtue must be done. According to professor in the US, professor in the US, he said even Joseph Goebbels, his master, who envious of the level of success this propaganda in the Nazi propaganda machine was this effective, was this oriented. How? I wonder, how did Nigerians of 20 that's what the more in vote to pay the basic campaign we point again when you are expected to say mental asylum, every person there is you will be the insane person in there.
Because you're run out, yeah.
It was so funny. And if you observe, all those who toss into this ditch, they kept quiet. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't have answers to the correct person. I saw one on national television. One of those high-flying economists. I saw him on national TV saying that to meet current effect, the government should start subsidizing Gary for the poor. It tells you the lack of ideas. It tells you the level of ignorance that was pervaded around this issue. We want that you talking about subsidy removal in isolation of energy security. Energy security. Energy security entails two things. There are components. Two components of energy security. Availability and affordability. That is why subsidy is a permanent feature in energy security because of the affordability component. Government must, as a matter of priority, and national security and national economic security, and for the purpose of economic growth and development, government must source energy. It's compulsory. The option of total on petrol in Nigeria should not have been contemplated or canvassed in the first place. Not at all. The important energy product in Nigeria is actually petrol to diesel, because in substitution it is gas and electricity. But for Nigeria it is petrol and diesel. It drives the vast sectors, the vast parts of the economy. Petrol. From transportation to production, it's petrol. Let me tell you, see what air is living to the living thing. Air is into, for human beings, free air, what keeps you alive. You breathe in and breathe out carbon dioxide. It's what keeps you alive. A human being can survive with just breathing in air for a number of days without, you can be alive. So you eat food, water, and some other things to go. Is that not so? But you can survive without food for a long time, so long as you are breathing. But if you eat the best of food, the best of food in the most expensive restaurant, the choice restaurant, even if you pay $1 million plate of food, and for a few hours not able to breathe,
I don't think you can even go hours without breathing.
Die.
Yeah.
So what air is to human beings, what energy is to the economy. Energy powers the economy and keeps it alive. It tells you to produce at all. The entire business we are there right now is powered by energy. One energy source, electricity. If the power now we switch to maybe a diesel or petrol plant, energy, we can't have this show. Energy, you can't fry akara, you can't fry bombs, you can't bake cake, you can't bake bread. You can't transport your baked confectionaries to market. Without energy, you can't. And that's why, like, God who created us as beings and other living things, God got the free access air because God knows that without it, if we have to pay for the air,
God forbid the government or another human being manages it.
Because God knows that if you have to pay for the air breathing, people longer than a few hours. Once you come to this. So God gave it to us free. Now, the God in this world, God in our current life, like God's life, is government. That was sensible government all over the world, sensible ones, understand that energy is something that you cannot price at the market. No, you can't. And so they subsidize energy and make sure that energy is available for the economies to exist at all. Because without that, the economies will go into serious crisis and create social rest. Because don't forget that people have surrendered and supported as government. So you must ensure that the fundamentals of the economy are guaranteed, assured by you as a government. That we thank God every day we wake up in the morning, we thank for our life. Because He gives it to us free of charge. So we have to thank. And that's why we worship God. Because if you are not that God gives it to you, worship Him, you thank, appreciate Him, you go to church, you go to the mosque to worship God. Because you know that He gave you these things for free. It's the same way that for us to be loyal to government, for citizens to be loyal to government, civil government and political level over the world know that you need to give this level of support to citizens to enable them back on productive activity at all. Before that policy to bring about patronage and sales of the products and services. But for them to produce at all, government knows that you must provide this enabling environment and foundation, which is primarily energy. And so what you do on petrol, which drives Nigeria's economy more than any other energy product. We don't have adequate electricity. We don't have adequate supply of gas, for example. So we depend on petrol for a number of things. Government is subsidizing gas. Government is no longer subsidizing diesel, aviation, and all other energy products. At least government should have subsidy on petrol. It was something that nobody should have thought of or think of or even contemplate moving. You should have known that this will happen.
Nigeria remove systematically over a period of time.
You see, the media should stop dodging this people. They should not remove it. There's no open country that subsidy in place for petrol. There is no country in the Western Hemisphere that is developed from America, the headquarters of capitalism. They subsidize petrol, raw subsidy petrol. America go to war with Saudi Arabia because of energy security. They no country plays with it. It's like a father, a responsible father, not allow his children to go to bed hungry. He would rather work 6 or more. There's nothing he cannot do, including someone to commit crime just to make sure that the student. I don't think you stand here. Some women will have to trade their bodies to feed at home. That's what responsible governments do. So we see America waging war overseas and atrocities overseas. It is to provide security at home for citizens. It is important. So I don't vision of graduate removal is there. The subsidy that should go is the subsidy of corruption, highest of places. Now we are importing petrol. That makes it even worse. You import petrol, you have tied your energy security, your energy need, your energy requirement, instability of the international market. What no country does, none. So we import petrol.
Well, except for countries who don't have the capacity to their own.
One drop of crude oil in the sun, who has functioning refineries. Functioning. The countries that are the biggest refiners of petrol in the world, countries like Netherlands and some other associated countries around that hub, oil producing countries. And they have the capacity to export to us that are producing. India has one of the largest refineries in the whole. India is an oil producing country. Yeah. And India subsidizes energy, petrol. Saudi Arabia does. The Middle East countries do. They do. All because subsidized. In 2023, Germany is going to spend 83 billion euros. 83 billion euros that's electricity for household and industries. That will take up 80% cost of electricity for the citizens.
I know that electricity is no longer subsidized in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, they're talking about a 40% review of
what's not available. So that's it about electricity and subsidy. Because not even you have less of electricity in Nigeria. So petrol is what substitutes for electricity. Petrol mostly. Now when you tie your energy demands to international market forces, now you get what you're getting now. First, there's an increase in the price of crude. I talked about it the last time I was here. that there's an immediate increase in the price of crude internationally.
The last time you were here, we're still dealing with the old prices, and now there's.
I made the point that there was going to be an increase.
Okay,
in the
you did.
Price of crude.
You did mention
and
that.
And it's going to increase the price, the landing cost of petrol in Nigeria. That's one. Would I have a bigger problem at hand? Even whether the price of crude or not increases, that's the problem we're having at hand now. A thoroughly diminished national currency, because this government, in addition to move subsidy, floated the currency, national currency. And when you float the currency of a country like Nigeria that is import dependent, is not productive, that's not export competitive, the naira will continuously slide against major world currencies. So if you look at the rate of the naira today, between when it was floated and today, it has lost value. And you need dollars to import PMS. So as you are losing value, the cost of importing PMS is increasing.
Yeah.
That is what you are seeing at the pump. And there is nothing in sight to show that there will be a hedging of the value of the naira between now and tomorrow. So there is a likelihood that Nigeria is already on the road to Zimbabwe in terms of currency crisis. Because there's nothing to support the naira. What's supporting it? And our political leaders, as we are speaking, are still behaving like drunken sailors in charge of a sinking ship. They will approve billions of naira to buy SUVs for National Assembly members.
70 billion, in which the Senate president is saying it's not for SUV alone, no, it's
for
maintenance of whatever.
For whatever it is. From the presidency to the judiciary to the legislature. You cannot tell Nigerians to tighten their belt and you are losing your own to expand your consumption. It is cruel. It is insensitive. In fact, I don't even know that adjective to use to describe what's happening today. It's a serious issue. Anybody who didn't see this coming, especially those that have the opportunity to come on air like us, those who are influential voices, those who are economists, if they didn't see this coming when they come out of subsidy removal, then they should apologize to Nigerians, apologize to themselves, and then go for forgiveness for misleading the people. How much should they not expect that price will keep increasing at infinitum?
Even the NLC at this point is seeing it as, what it is, saying it's bringing unnecessary hardship on people. Nigeria are deceived. They use the word deceived on the issue of petrol pricing. Speaking on the TV program, Joe Ajero said the product pump price surged to 617 naira per litre in the FCT and 568 litre in Lagos. And according to the NLC president, the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is toying with Nigerians, and the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation is also being clever by half. NNPCL cannot import and say the commodity is imported by a marketer. That is not true. If the government withdraws subsidy of petroleum products and suddenly, while we're about to start committee meeting, there's another price increase, why then will government seek a court injunction and use their measure if it is not their business? It seems we've entered a reign where Nigerians are being punished unnecessarily, where lies are coming up everywhere. And if you have a single market where anyone must change dollar at 800 naira per dollar, you remove the market where people are changing dollars at 450 to import. It means the very moment dollar value increases even to 900 or 1,000, you tell us that you've imported at the current value, which is what you've just said at this point, explaining it. And he said quite a lot of things, saying that they might have to take things into their hands at this point. But then you start to wonder, what can really the Nigerian Labour Congress do? But the thing is, Dr. Majid, with where we are at this juncture, do you see the government perhaps looking and evaluating this policy decision and direction they've taken and seeing how they can backtrack on it? Would it even be a good move at this point for the government to say, okay, because naturally there'll be pressure. The pressure will mount. Some people are already saying the marketers are the ones deliberately making it feel as if because they're the ones benefiting from it. But would it even be a good call for the government to call it off at this point in time and go back to the subsidy regime? But can we take your response after this very quick break? Let's go on a quick break. We'll be back in a bit.
Talk 95.1 Nigeria Info. Let's
Hello.
My name is Kimberly. I'm the whole half act, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can prove it. I do it in the morning on Morning Crossfire, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigeria Info 95.1. I'm FMD. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics every day. It is trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers the politics and the stories that matter to you. See, all the reasons to find out what's going on in Nigeria and get differently. Let's talk. That's the way to go, even this morning.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon to Ibrahim Hajara. I see you, Gideon Akintade. Good afternoon to Oko and Miebo Dajit. Good to have you both here. This matter is really distressing. Let the road users and energy consumer breathe. It is well, Kim. Asupita, good afternoon, Dr. Majid and Kimberly. So, can you explain to me why government can't repair our refineries and station? Why is the government not promoting our refineries? He's asking a lot of questions. Oludade Abiodun says, good afternoon. Why do we find it difficult to fix our refineries? Because our political class are not really serious, says Odi. Awuru Joshua says, good afternoon. Where are they proposing to occupy Nigeria now? Good luck, Jonathan wanted to it and hell was let loose. Let Nigerians breathe. Hashtag. James Mark says, hi Kim, Dr. Majid, God bless. I pray we don't miss Buhari. Someone already says they are missing such a gentle people because he didn't reveal it. He actually saw and anticipated. He moved it at the twilight of his administration, setting this government up.
No. He removed it. You see, again, we have to be fair to that man. You know, I'm not Buhari's best friend. But I see I'm now beginning to. Each time the liberal pundits pushed Buhari to remove subsidy, Buhari will always mention the plight of the common man.
Yeah.
But then say, brother, look, I think it's going to hurt the people.
It's on record. That
It's on record. So if Buhari of all people, for God's sake, spare the thought for ordinary man to say, look, what how you got it from me? We need to keep paying this subsidy. And somebody came and couldn't spare a thought for the common man, remove it on day one of inauguration, and expect able to go to hell and fend for us. No, people have reason to miss Buhari.
No, but they're already talking CD.
I said, Buhari was not the truth. That was an orthodox.
Palliative.
They pushed, they were trying to make Buhari look, should I say, unpatriotic no subsidy. They didn't have the courage to. So,
no, but then that was also given the fact that subsidy was a scam. He was also one of the people who drove that agenda. Drove the agenda. Beg your pardon.
When you have a belief, when you come on board with the reality, and you retract, that is courageous. Why did they do subsidy at all? Why is own idea of subsidy? Somebody was stealing money in the name of subsidy. That people for 5 naira as a matter of fact at the landing cost. When he got there, he removed subsidy in 2016. He got there. So prices went off 7 naira to 145.
We recall. I found out it was on the recovery they were doing, and it wasn't like
it was called on the recovery. But now, just like this, Petrol went up because you are not free the market. You've tied it the dictates of market forces, which you don't do. So when you realize that you cannot sell petrol at that time, 145 for Nigerians. Again, it was in 2019. So he restored subsidy, called it on the recovery. So the way that appropriate subsidy, so NNPC was now made the sole importer. You sell, you pay yourself, and tell us how much you sold. That was when the major corrupt setting and the opacity that has now gradually defined the kind of subsidy setting. So that opacity that needed to be cleared, it was that house cleaning that had to happen in PC to actually determine what quantity of consumption Now know how government can sustain subsidy. While expediting action on sustaining its 4 refineries, partnering with states and IOCs to build more. Look, subsidy must be restored now.
Okay, back to the question, yeah?
It has to be restored now. It was not of subsidy in the first place. It has to be restored. All the arguments against subsidy falls flat when you submit it to common sense of logical reasoning. How can you tell that because petrol was going to Cameroon? As a government cannot prevent
No,
petrol.
because of the money we're borrowing to pay subsidy. It's running into trillions. It was become almost insane for a country deep in debt.
Of the citizens of Nigeria who pay taxes for abiding to secure the borders, who appointed border chiefs, border security chiefs, who is the commander-in-chief of forces, who is supposed to secure our borders? And if a government cannot secure its borders, again, of petroleum, is it small alarms that it can prevent from coming to Nigeria? Number one. Number two, they say it was cost. Who was dispensing the corruption in subsidy? Who owns an NPC? Who gives this for protection? Who goes through payment schedule? Who approves payment? Is it
No, but we had a guest, Dr. Majid, also painted a picture vivid on the complexity of fighting corruption because who is who involved in the chain of corruption.
Now. They are the ones. It is the responsibility. Make it look like corruption is greater than Nigeria. Then let us all take a decision on whether to prescribe Nigeria from the surface of the earth because they are deeply corrupt. This is the So if you think corruption is so in the oil sector, they can't pay subsidy. I'm arrested and prosecuted for oil subsidy scam so far. Nobody. In the case, why is Nigeria still studied and existing as a country? If Nigeria is so endemic, is so corrupt and endemic manner that it is irredeemable. Why are we serving Nigeria? That is the argument. And I'm saying government is responsible to fight corruption. As a fact, government has a responsibility not to be corrupt at all. Yes, at all. Where you cannot one naira, you should not be able to support government. That is the responsibility of government. It's a institution. We need to raise the bar of corruption. When you come and reduce the bar and say, so they are bigger than the Nigerian state, is that what you are saying? Now, how come the refineries have been turned down severally? So continents. It's not working. Everybody keeping their job. Nobody can arrest for wasting government resources. Maintaining the refinery that's not working. What is happening? Why are we not asking questions? And why don't we need such amount of money? Billions to refurbish refineries, and it still doesn't. And somebody's keeping his job. It happened under the current management of NNPC. And he's keeping his job. What is happening? What kind of system are we operating? And the only way they can do it to move subsidy. Let me tell you the move subsidy. It's not reason. No. The reason they move subsidy. That's why the corruption is subsidy.
We're borrowing too much.
No. Government still indeed paying subsidy. Now, if the true consumption, say 10 million liters, already to 40, that 10 million liters that government was for, is what that was spending when the government has just removed. Simple. Is there no corruption in procurement in Nigeria? Is there no corruption in everything we do? Also, the political party processes and primaries are true, particularly at every level.
Well, that's why we're arguing, Dr. Majid, saying even if proponent of subsidized food and other stuff coming, what's the guarantee going to be the bottleneck of corruption?
Governance issues. Fix government, make it corruption free. It's integrity quotient in governance. It's as simple as that. Germany will pay 83 billion euros. 83 billion euros. The deficit in 2023. You know why? In Germany, it is inconceivable. It's no longer that it can be conceived by the human mind that the Chancellor of Germany can mismanage $1 of his country, or her country. It's not something that is contemplated. It's not something happen anymore. It's taken for granted and no, beyond that level. Our Chancellor once refused to live in residence with the Chancellor because young child, and you have to rent as Chancellor from your staff. When you fly their version of maybe their own presidential jet, as a family member, you have to pay half of the ticket for your family member. It's not. So he had a smaller house and said, I can't afford this house, smaller one. That is the level of prudence in those governments that makes it possible for them to size housing, healthcare, and provide fantastic infrastructure borrowing. Exportiveness. It's not Nigeria's citizens that government cannot ramp up oil in the Nigeria Delta because of oil theft. It's in my 40s. What are they elected to do? It is their fault. For that Nigeria cannot earn enough from foreign exchange and enough from foreign exchange to competitiveness. That our governors have nothing doing than Abuja. If you're not seeing them in the villa, see them in their club of Nigerian Governors Forum meeting, just gallivanting, attending party functions. There is zero governance in most states of the Federation. Is it the fucking Amajid Dahiru that our governor is responsible?
Okay, no, maybe we will not use those kind of language at this point in time. No, I agree with you. There's a lot of vexation moment, but then
resources. You saw what about the report from Benue State. A governor and we saw government vehicles in a showroom that was supposed to have that was linked to him. It is of responsibility. It's a reality. Don't call these people out. We are just wasting our time. It is irresponsible.
But it's like one of says a tradition that has gone on for
It's
a
an
long time that is
tradition.
not seen as irresponsible, but a
It's an irresponsible
tradition.
tradition that has changed now. And because it is irresponsibility. It's irresponsibility. The House of Nigeria that don't have one single refinery since 1999. What else do you want to describe that? Because nobody has thought it wise to invest money to refineries. But the governors are always contesting for president and being defenders. I shouldn't call it irresponsible. What are we saying? Those governors that don't stay in their capital anymore. A lot of them cannot pay 31 million. They can't.
So those people are proposing 200,000 and just stopping to
where
do
the money from. Look, we have a leadership crisis in Nigeria, political crisis abroad. And it is different now. It is different. And it's across lines, across political party lines. Have you observed that since this crisis started, a party like the Labour Party, that Nigerians filed out to vote for free of charge, attributed their campaign funds, and to defeat our president in his home state? The constituency where Tinubu comes from is represented by the Labour Party in the National Assembly constituency, House of Reps. To defeat the vice president candidate of PP in the Delta State, a sitting governor.
But what do you want the Labour Party to say different? It also stood for removal of subsidy.
Thank you very much. I agree that they stood for removal of subsidy. And that NLC, which owns the party, has this is no longer working. If you have made an error to the party, it is time for you, starting from people, to announce that I have rethink. I think I was an error to have supported this. I didn't take into cognizance some of this, and I'm taking which is missionaries, culture, secure, cut down on waste. We can pay subsidy in the meantime. We accelerate within a period of 4 months to revamp our refineries. Of him now, but most of the time observe this. MPs, MPs are in some voting for free of charge after the National Assembly. I've not had one MP want to say do something about the right cost of living for our citizens. I've not heard curiously the Labour Party come in, Member Party National Assembly to say this 70 billion that was for us, we reject it and don't think we deserve it at this time. That are for and people are losing their jobs. We should be this. We don't be on the voters. Can't afford to drive public transport. I've not had Labour and two and leaders in the Senate making this principle stand. Even if it's just for the optics, I've not heard up till now. They have become sucked in. That is the great betrayal, if you ask for the Nigerian people, because most of them really expect more from traditional parties. Only spend money to get there. So people tell you it's not them to recoup they have to read their returns on investment. Labour Party, the senator representing Abuja, Senator Kimberly, defeated one of the most powerful senators of the Fourth Republic, Senator Philip Aduda of the PDP. He was torpedoed before he knew what he has lost election. When I told someone that Labour Party won Abuja election, the person looked at me. He didn't know how to describe my stupidity. He was looking at me as, how can you say Labour Party Abuja? The person that is an APC change, but he felt PDP win Abuja. Because when I told him that the indication that it's like Labour has won Abuja, he looked at me. You could see that he scolded me. He quarreled with me. He stood later. He called me to tactically apologize. People didn't see these things coming, and it's very possible. The residents of Nigerian people that are suffering, none of this possible because they desire change, quality. Not one person from that cool has come out to say, "Hey, this is not right. Something has to." It is sad. It's a great obedient revolution that took place in this country. We shaped our democracy and made it look like people have a say. And if you improve on governance, the people can overrun you.
But wouldn't it be a dangerous precipice? You always dance to everything in terms of what the people are saying. Even if you're a people party, you're also responsible for governance legislation.
Since I was better than old, I didn't know that Nigerians buy petrol for more than 200 naira most. Did you see the reaction to 212 increment of petrol?
Yes, it changes the cost.
Negative change. We always structural change. The great governance issue is cost of living crisis, energy insecurity, one. And Labour Party has even more ability to hold their colleagues that are in party more accountable. People like them say, no, we cannot do to do this. It is a responsibility on them. What I'm just saying is, that you are calling on the government itself. If you're saying, how come the Nigerian political elite have united to punish the Nigerian people? If such a conspiracy is there, because Nigerians invested in Labour, to call out these people to say, look, you are bastards. Those who defeated in the Gelumel for you in Asaba, defeated Ugwani for you in the Enugu Central District, those who defeated Okowa, those who humiliated Abadamu in the Polion, those who defeated me in Lagos, you are not for them.
But Dr. Meji, look at the pages of the daily. It's a statement credited to Labour, credited to me, talking about a hardship on the people.
I've not seen any that is profound, that carries the kind of want to see from the caucus of the members that are going to be beneficiaries of these SUVs. It's because of them on protecting this like yes, standing on principle to say, look, we cannot accept this when people are paying for petrol at 6.15 naira. It is their responsibility to do that, reject it. They want to see them talk about this issue and stand with the people. People will be encouraged. Let me tell you why I'm making this. We need to be encouraged to continue to have faith in the political.
The mic, Dr. Majid.
We need people to continue to have the political system in the democratic system in Nigeria. Once people lose faith that a party like Labour, which a people power become the tallest party in Nigeria, has become sucked in. How are you going to tell Nigerians 27 to also sacrifice like this to put in set of new people that will go there and probably get sucked in? Don't you know that our democracy become thoroughly legalized? That we begin to seek for alternative style of leadership that is not ethic. That's what we should not allow to happen in this country. So Labour team must be taking a step now. They are members in assembly. We want to take the steps now and begin. Not accountable. We want to see them reject that like jazz. Right. They need to.
So I was going to take us back to he put out a statement that this current pump price as no extortion but provocation by the APC, by the National Secretary, Honorable Ologun. Yes, a statement in Abuja he put out. He also did put out there. I think his statement said that the latest adjustment of doctors, especially PMS, is the beginning of hard times. The APC, the party invites Nigeria to recall. Earlier cautioned Nigerians against belief being sold to them by the APC administration about subsidy because the ruling party had no ways to ameliorate their suffering. From the National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party that was pleased. So the open house from the national.
It's not it.
It's not it.
I thought it
should be the individual.
The National Assembly because of law should reject as a matter of principle. Yes. And we used to sell it and deploy the money to do political work. People deserve from Labour particularly. What do they say for this of the places? I'm saying people get to government from political party and becoming one. One share. The part of the statements I'm not receive kind of money. They pass. We remember. Nobody protested. Nobody means people are circulating about a parliament or so. When one legislator to say, look, we are taking too much. We need to give back to the.
I mean, some of them are they're paid that they want it reviewed. Well, even if they're going to review phase.
I think about this. Whatever anybody has, but doesn't matter to me today. I am saying that party that I saw people in this. I live in Abuja. I saw people trekking this, doing solidarity march for the party with their own resources, with their time, money. Such people deserve in the parliament. That is statement to me from Labour Party, for example. It was said. It should not look where error judgment. He has to admit. Look out there. How look at the situation now? I would have rather cleaned up the subsidy regime. I'm a man of impeccable integrity. I like to do so. I would have cleaned up having no interest in cartel. And once I'm done with that, in addition to cutting down on customers, I will then return the saved to resuscitate our refineries quick time so that we'll stop even importation of PMS. That should be the official property or pronouncement from the Labour Party as we speak. Because the NLC has this, and I've read out, out of demand. Unfortunately, the party didn't align with that. So it's time for Labour to go and align with NLC chairman. Otherwise, NLC cannot APC on this matter. So you need to. So we have a rethink. Nigerians we see we having 15 choices go forward, and that must be reflected and echoed by the NLC, the Labour Party, the presidential candidate, and caucuses in the assembly collectively, so that they are indeed different and they deserve of the confidence that was reposed in them by Nigerians, which made them the third largest party in Nigeria tonight.
All right. Let's get a feel, think of our conversation, make of it. We have story to look at, but we'd love to get your team to cover. Or maybe 6,000 naira. Too soon to joke with that amount per litre.
Yes.
Okay, now. All right. Up on 0700 950 00. And you can also 09597489 or call 0809 930 to share with us. Hello. Good afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Wayne.
Yeah, my name is Abuja.
One.
The Nigerians, I think we are the one that are before. Because all this election, all two people focusing on was no subsidy on us. There's no proper land. There's no how the country functions or office without it. Look at the person of volume. We finally going just like this summer. We remove subsidy. We allow international army to international fund of right. Go. This was the next 3 years we can as well. So because the city is the last government doesn't be going to subsidize for energy, no food. We allow this price to keep increasing like this. We should subsidy should come at the point for the NMP. In fact, if we are aware the president GS to resign.
All right. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Good afternoon, King.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. My name is Emmanuel, and I'm calling from Bari.
Go ahead.
Yeah, basically, from my own perspective, there's a particular mistake that I did. You don't remove it side by side and also making the naira to float in what do you call the export and import to make it fruits like that. So anything that has a naira, the exchange rate so far is different so much. There is a period gap between it. So it will indirectly affect the cost importation because this will need to start from naira to be able to get dollars to bring in their. The second thing.
Oh dear. Sorry about that. You're another caller then. Hello.
Good afternoon, Kimberly.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my number one, Dr. Majid.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. I remember Mustafa Abubakar Ali. I'm calling from PW Kubwa. From the name Tinubu Peking, you know, I'm an ardent supporter and a supporter of this administration. Dr. Majid Airu, for the first time in many years, I would disagree with you. Of course, every country in the world pays on energy. But Mr. Majid Airu, you will agree with me that we Nigerians and the followers have not demonstrated clarity when it comes to this energy. We've never been truthful energy issue. All it keeps lies upon lies. Even say he will eliminate subsidy and went into that place, he will not be able to back. Let alone have the courage to remove it. It means there are bigger forces that must be with, whether prepared or not. Mr. Majid Ahiru, I know you will agree with me. We have three big cabals in this country. Except we deal with them, we never go forward. Start dealing with road construction. Road construction, Nigeria is one of the country's highest, the most expensive road construction in the world. And it is because of cabals that. We have those cabals that are that our energy in terms of electricity will never be stable. And the one is the one that has to do with fuel subsidy. Of course, not the palliative were not rolled out before the removal. But then it has because we have not demonstrated that we're ready to be sincere to ourselves and to our country. Let me stop here. Thank God bless our country. God bless.
Thank you very much. Let's hear another caller. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, Dr. Majid.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
He can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Salasi. See, talk of missing Buhari. I don't miss for one single hour. He was there as the Minister of Petroleum for the past 8 years. And nothing was done to mitigate that our refinery work. The question I always ask Dr. Majid, is any country on the planet that have the refinery? You've made mention of Africa, mention of other countries, you've made mention of Netherlands, doesn't even have crude, but they refine